Hi everybody, I'm here today with Mighty Mike Maggio, former professional boxer. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing absolutely great. Glad to be here with you, and we've known each other a long time, my friend.
Yeah, man, always been an admirer of you and
Thank
your
you.
accomplishments. Thank you for taking some time out your schedule today.
Yeah, of course, they're there for you, Maurice.
Tell,
For
tell
sure.
me, tell the audience, tell me some of your accomplishments in boxing.
Uh, First of all, I thank God every day of my life. My accomplishments. I was a four-time Golden Glove undefeated champion, 88, 89, 90, 92. I missed 91. I was on the Olympic team with Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, heavyweight champ of the world, John Ruiz. I fought in Stockholm, Sweden. I was voted most outstanding fighter. My amateur record was 57 wins, 5 losses. I was a four-time undefeated Golden Glove champion, second in the nation, ranked in the world as an amateur and a professional, and I've always trained as hard as I possibly could, from Dan Carr and my father at the Lower East Side Sports Center. Long time ago when I was a kid, they seen how rambunctious I was, and Danny Carr and my dad looked and says, you know, if you could throw 100 punches around, who would be able to beat you? So I accepted that, and to be able to accept that task of throwing 100 punches around, I'm known for that in my amateur and professional career. And I have other fighters that I fought against were like, get off of me, you know. And I'm a machine. I love going to the body. Combinations are my will of winning the fight. More punches thrown. I took that tenacity and that information from Apache Dan Carr, my coach Matt DeForce. Dedicated his life to me with his family. I love all of them. My father and mother are the idols in my life. Beyond blessed on that statement there. So
Right. Mike, so why don't you tell everybody what city and state you grew up in, a little bit about the neighborhood you grew
oh
up
my God, I grew up on Browns Avenue my whole life. I'm still there. Bought the house next door to my parents. No matter where I went fighting, I've been all over the United States. Everyone always asked, are you from Pittsburgh? Are you from Philly? And I go, no, I'm from Erie, PA. And they're like, Erie? I go, yeah, you know, the 5 Great Lakes.
in? Right.
And people are laughing at me, and they go, you're not from Pittsburgh? You're a tough fighter. Oh, my God. I've been inducted to the Golden Gloves Hall of Fame in 2015. I got inducted in the Erie Hall of Fame. I've also been inducted in the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame. There's a bunch of Hall of Fames. I just had a friend of mine that was knew me back then when I was in Pittsburgh, because that's where the majority of my fights were at for the Golden Glove tournaments.
Right.
They raved about me, and the whole Lower East Side would go down there, and I'd have thousands of people that came to see me.
Right.
Which is an honor, and I love Erie. This is my home, and I brag to everybody about how I love this town and I love the city and everybody backing me all the time.
Right.
To be a star, and I trained as hard as I could to be that person.
Right.
Um,
How old do you think you were when Danny Carr and your dad said, "Hey, it's time for you. You got it. You got some skills."
I started in the box game at 10 years old. I originally started fighting with Bizarro family, and I had one fight with them. It was the West Side Wildcats. I had my first 3 minutes, 3 rounds. I beat them, obviously throwing 100 punches around at 10 years old.
Right.
Blew everybody away. And the Bizarros, that they weren't continuing, or they left the gym, and I says, Dad, I want to fight. I fell in love. He goes, well, let's get in touch with Danny Carr, Matt DeForce, Joe Salawater, Vince Cristiano, Crandall King. There's so many people that have been invested their life into me to create Mighty Mike Maggio.
Right. So you did, when you first started training, was it at the Lori? Like
That's
when you really got started going.
That's when my first fight was was with the West Side Wildcats, we were called, and for some reason it just didn't come together. I wanted to fight. My dad says, "Well, I know Danny Carr, so I'm going to get in touch with him and all the Lower East Side guys, and they have had my back my whole life. Everyone thinks I'm from the East Side. I'm a West Side guy.
Right.
Browns Avenue, the Brown Ave crew.
Right.
I got like 20-some relatives in a block walking distance of my home. I love Erie more than any place ever, and I've been all over the country. And they go, "Mike, what do you still live here for?" I was like, "Man, this place is great. We got the lake, we got the casinos, we got the restaurants, we got all these Presque Isle and everything. 5 minutes anywhere you want to go. Makes life great."
Right. Who were some of the as you were coming up? Do you remember any of the local fighters that were coming up with you at the same time?
I had one that I have to give that made me a great fighter, and we've been together since I was a kid, and that would be Tough Timmy Himes. And we, I don't know how many thousands of times that we sparred, and we'd let nothing go. We went at each other tooth and nail. He was a weight above me, but we have been close in the boxing world. He is also a Golden Glove champ. Marty Davis. There's so many guys that accolades that I had the pleasure of being with. Janoski's, and of course Marty Davis is Timmy Himes. We were like the three-ring circus, man. We backed each other. There was no miss in practice. We all trained together, believed in each other, and still to this day, we still talk, we still have each other's backs because the memories that we fulfilled back then will never leave us.
Right.
So I've got a great life story, and proud to be here, man.
Right.
You know?
As you were coming up, you started like in your young boxing. Explain to me how someone gets into the Golden Glove. Is that like for the audience out there?
That's a high ring right there. They have certain divisions in the Golden Glove tournaments. For some reason, I was in the open class.
Okay.
Since I started in 1988, I was a senior in high school. My first state title was at the Keystone State Games in 1986. I was in 10th grade at Strong Vincent High School, SV.
Right.
I became a 4-time Golden Glove champion, state champion. I am undefeated as a Golden Glove fighter in my reign. I'm very proud of many people don't have that accolade as myself. I'm super proud of that. And the one reason why that I've told everybody, you have to train to be the best. First one at the gym, last one to leave. And that we go up and down the stairs with medicine balls. At the end of all our workouts, our running, our bag work, we had like a 10 or 15 pound medicine ball. You had to run up and down the stairs 10 times. Up and down is 1. Up and down is 2. So it was really 20 times.
Right.
I never got tired. I never got winded. And I threw over 100 punches around in almost every fight that I've ever fought. And I'm known in the amateur world of that. I'm also known as my professional career as that, where I was 15 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 10 knockouts.
Right.
I've been on 6 undercards of the famous Roberto Duran, which we were stablemates, as well as Hector Camacho. Have sparred those guys both. I've been living an incredible dream. My mother and father, Apache Dan Carr, Matt DeForce, are true idols in my life. No questions about it. And of course, my amazing mother, I'm just like her, Joanne Starr Maggio, Starr. Very amazing stories.
Right.
I have.
Right. Mike, when you're training for like a fight, how much time do you spend like a typical in a day in the gym? How many hours is that?
Talking 3.5 hours a day. But then when you go home, there's accolades that you do. Your push-ups, your sit-ups. Long time ago, my dad taught me about breathing exercises. And I still do it to this day. And I'd be around family or friends and I'd experiment like, and I've been doing it since I was 12.
Right.
And I learned that philosophy on a bunch of different types of techniques that I do in life that I have learned from my father, Patchy Dan Carr, Joe Salawater, Matt DeForce, Vince Cristiano. All those guys gave up their life to an extent to help me make it in the world. And I will never forget them. I will cherish those people to the utmost.
Right.
You know?
When you in the ring, is there I mean, can anybody become a boxer, or does like you have to have? Is there kids that like have a certain mentality that has to become a boxer?
Well, you have to be registered. You have to be checked out by a physician many times, your whole life in the fight career. You go into different qualifications. You have sub-novice, you have novice, and open. For some reason, when I was fighting at the age of 10 years old, I had some fights and they put me automatically, as soon as I went to Pittsburgh, Danny Carr goes, sub-novice, novice. He's a champion. We're throwing him into the dogs. He's going to the highest level. He's open class. I'm like, okay. And my first fight, I went there in 1988. Everything was great. I was fighting this guy. He was an unbelievable, tough competitor. He hit me and knocked me down. And it hit me hard. And I got up, and all I remembered is a kid, he couldn't get me off of him. I won another most outstanding fighter of the tournament.
Right.
It was my first Golden Gloves, and they didn't know the Lower East Side. And I had probably 400 or 500 bikers in Erie from the west side, and the east side, and all of us grew together as one. And that Lower East Side Sports Center, there will be nothing ever like it. The competitors that we had, the training, oh my gosh, the training was beyond top of the level. And I am so honored to be a part of that, part of Pittsburgh, a part of the PA Hall of Fame. I was just a 10-year-old kid with the dream.
Right.
And I'm living my dream with my wife and my 3 daughters. All idols in my life. My wife is, how can I say this? It's my Kelly from Saved by the Bell, man. It's she is the most incredible human being I have ever met in my entire life. She has taught me so much. She has been with God her whole life, as well as myself. We all had situations in our lives in which ways to turn, and luckily I had family, Apache Dan Carr, my mother and father, to guide me on what's the right thing to do, and that's the way I live my life.
Right. Mike, when you're fighting somebody,
I'm destroying you. Doesn't matter who you are.
How do you know when you got him? Like, okay, he's ready to go. Can you tell like when you get into him and like they're ready to go?
When that bell rings, the crowd, I don't hear anything. My one focus is the guy that's standing in front of me is to put him down. And I've had a lot of that. I was 57 wins, 5 losses as an amateur. 15 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw as a professional, 10 KOs. Fighting my amateur career, I always fought at high levels from the beginning. It was never, you're fighting sub-novice, you're fighting novice. Danny Carr has a great statement. Mike, we fed you to the wolves right from the beginning.
Right.
Apache Dan Carr, I still talk to him. He's in Florida. I talk to him all the time. He is one of my mentors in my life. Mother and father are the best mentors in my life. They have guided me. My sister Stacy, my brother-in-law Matt. I have so many friends and family that I absolutely love, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of them.
Right.
And especially me knowing you for as long as we've known each other, the respect that you have for me as I have for you, let alone my city of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Super blessed, man. I'm honored that you have me here with you on the podcast.
Oh,
Honored,
glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So you made your pro debut in what, 92 or something like that?
Yep, it was in Buffalo. The first fight, I was on the undercard of the famous Roberto Duran, the greatest lightweight that has ever lived, ever, from every sports person in the world. I fought on 6 undercards of Roberto Duran. The times that we got to share with each other, and he's a pool shark. He's incredible. A couple lessons he learned in the gym. Staying away from steroids and drugs, and if you're going to be this fighter, you got to train as hard as you can every day. First one at the gym, last one to leave. And dedicate your mind is that you destroy who is ever in front of you.
Right.
Hector Camacho is a whole different story. What a great champion from Puerto Rico. I love those guys. I use that word because if we had more love in our world, we'd live in a much better place. So I'm going to continue to love everybody no matter what the situation. That's what God wants me to do, you know?
Right.
There's some stories with Camacho are, man, he's something else. What a great champion, God rest his soul. Being 3 undercards with him, and they were the main event, and 6 undercards of Roberto Duran. Unfortunately, my fight in 94, I went to a fight. I got married September 24th. I fought, I believe it was November 11th, and it was on TV, and I was on the undercard of Camacho. I had a signed contract to fight Camacho next. That fight never prevailed. I ended up injuring cervical nerves, my back and left, paralyzed my arm and 3 fingers for a couple of years.
Right.
Nobody would touch me. Scary. I had to have surgery on my left shoulder where they removed both muscles, fixed 9 nerves, drilled 4 holes through my shoulder bone, and wired my muscles back together in my body. I've had my left shoulder done. I've had 9 kidney stone surgeries, eye surgery, nose surgery. I had an apicectomy where they had to cut down my teeth from infection, ear surgeries. And guess what? Do I regret any of the fighting or the life I've lived? I do not. I'm super blessed with my wife and my family. And oh my God, Erie, I have always, no matter where you were, I'm in Colorado, I'm in California, I'm in Pittsburgh, I'm in Philadelphia, Joe Frazier's gym, with Marvis Frazier as one of my trainers when we were on the Olympic team together. My coach, Matt DeForza, came to Colorado with me for like 2 weeks and learned from there. I thought he was a better trainer than all of them. Don't beat me up on that one. Matt DeForce, the things he taught me, I can't even explain what that guy means to me. And he had a big family. Apache Dan Carr, Don Polonsky, John Hinoski, the family. Please understand this. My brothers forever, Tough Timmy Himes and Marty Davis. You guys have no idea how much I love you guys because we went to states together. We had our back no matter where we were. Back in the day, if you remember the clubs, we were dancing. Of course, you know, I still love the break dance at the age of 55. I've had a great career. I live my life to the fullest every day because tomorrow's not promised for none of us. The podcast that you have me on right now, it's the first time I really did one. I've done a lot of interviews with, God rest his soul, Gary Drapp Show, Mike Ruzzi, all the TV channels. I want to thank them for supporting me, the Lower East Side Sports Center, myself, as well in life now that I'm still in contact with a lot of those people as well. Right. Especially you.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you look back at it all, man? What are you most proud of? What are some things you're proud of? Your whole career.
Man, I gotta say that 4-time undefeated Gold Glove boxing champion, being a pro at 15-0 in 2.5 years. Um, Best accomplishment that I had in my life, and I'm gonna just here's my world title. My world title is my wife and my 3 daughters. That is the greatest gift I've ever had. I lived in the boxing game. I lived it. I loved it. I'm paying for it today a little bit. Accolades from any sports, like anyone that's been in the sport game for such a long time, such as myself, 24, 25 years I fought. It's a lot.
Long time. Yeah.
It's a long time. I regret nothing. And I just want Erie to know how much I love this city. Wherever I went, you're from Pittsburgh, you're from Cleveland, where are you from? And man, did I ever hold Erie up here, always. And then wherever I went to these tournaments, wherever I was at, when I was in New Jersey, some dude from Erie, where's Erie? And I'm like, the 5 Great Lakes, and I got to meet so many important people in my life. I will never forget where I came from. I'm a Brown Ave kid, man. I'm proud of that. Irving, Roosevelt, Strong Vincent, went to Edinburgh for a short time. I went to Mercer's College. I had a job at an incredible place, Johnson Controls. I made the U.S. team. I got to live my dream. And I'm still living my dream to this day.
Right.
And for you to have me here, I am honored.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share, Mike, before we wrap up today?
Live life to the fullest every day, everyone. Was so proud to be from Erie, Pennsylvania, that no matter where I went and all the places that I mentioned all over the United States, overseas, when I was fighting, Erie, PA. I'm from Erie, PA. Where's that? I absolutely love this place. I love the people. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored that my name in the Hall of Fames, and I had a guy text me from Pittsburgh that's voting for me next year for the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame, which I'm in the Gold Gloves Hall of Fame, which is Pennsylvania, what have you. It's just another accolade that of accomplishments that I have had in my life. He just contacted me yesterday. It's really weird that I'm here with you now, because he says, you're my first vote. He said, could you send me some accolades like I did with you? I'm over the top at everything I do, and I'm never going to change. Right. I'm honored to be here, honored to have this podcast with you and tell you about my life story in the fight game. Live life to the fullest every day. Thank you. Thank you, Erie.
Mighty Mike Maggio, everybody.